Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Unparalleled Universe for another action figure review, and today we're taking a look at the brand new Mythic Legions Legacies of Mythos Otho. And I've already taken a look at the Legacies of Mythos Urzok. Be sure to check that out. It's on my channel now. And I'm very excited about Otho because this figure looks absolutely incredible. Cannot wait to get him out of the packaging. Huge thank you to the folks over at Four Horsemen for sending this out to me. You guys are awesome. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. Starting off with the packaging. Through the window, you are able to see Otho looking pretty badass. On the front here, we get some little bit of artwork, you know. It says Mythic Legions, Legacies of Mythos, Otho. On the side, we get an incredible shot done by one of the GOATs, Trevor, aka 1/6 Shooter. He killed it on that shot. And then on the back, we get some really cool looking artwork of the character and then some information about Otho. And then over here, we have a little bit more artwork. And down here, it says the Army of Leodicius. I probably said that wrong. Anyways, I can't wait to get this figure out. So enough about the pretty box. Let's go ahead and get Otho out and take a look. Oh, man. Okay, so here we have Otho. And this thing is a straight up banger through and through. Oh, my God. Like Four Horsemen. They did an incredible job on this figure. It looks amazing. It's got some soft goods that were prototyped by the CJ Esm team. Shout out to them. They always do phenomenal work, and they killed it right here. I love the way this color silver looks with the blue. And then we've got the gold highlights in there that match like the chainmail and stuff. That's so freaking awesome. This thing looks amazing. I love the design. And then he does have a very cool like helmet. Check this out. It's got like this lion face plate thing that you could lift up. And then you're able to see Otho in there. And that face comes out and you could put it into another helmet that he comes with. I like how he has the dread sticking out from the back. That's cool, man. This is such a great looking figure. I love this setup for Mythic Legions. We've seen this similar like recipe with other figures. One of my favorites is Sir Elijah that came out earlier this year. And it kind of has the same concept where it's like the night body and then soft goods and everything. And I love this, man. It's so cool. I love the fact that they've leaned more into soft goods. I think it kind of levels up their figures quite a bit. And then on top of that, the way they've been leveling up the articulation, they've definitely taken some huge jumps in the last couple of years. But man, this is an incredible looking figure. I really love what we have going on here. And it's super fun to pose around and play with. So right out of the box, I'm pretty blown away by this guy. And then getting in close to take a look at all the amazing detail on this figure, starting off at the head. I absolutely love this helmet, man. This is such a cool design. Look at this. And they did such a great job with the sculpting work on it. There's all kinds of different like types of sculpt work here. You know, we have some like smooth surfaces, like the furry areas, the lion's face, and then up here, you know, like there's all kinds of different things going on. But it looks so good. And there's not a whole lot of different colors or anything like that. It's mostly silver, but there's a little bit of gold on the side. And little things like this are very impressive to me because they're just like small accents to the rest of the figure or the rest of the head sculpt. But those little paint details are really well done here. Like they're precisely applied. If they were off at all, like it would look horrible because there's not a lot of colors to hide any imperfections in, you know? It's mostly silver and a little bit of gold. And if that gold was off, you know, you would definitely be able to tell on the silver. But, you know, the Four Horsemen always do a great job with the paint work on their figures, especially with little details like that. So, yeah, man, really great stuff. And then as far as this goes, this is like a faceplate that lifts up and then you're able to see Otho in there. And his face comes out and you're able to put it into another helmet. But yeah, this looks awesome, man. Oh, damn, I just noticed this. Look at all the detail right there, like on the jawline of the helmet. That's crazy. Yeah, they put so much work into this helmet. And what I like about this is that, you know, this works really well. Like sometimes things like this don't always, they could be iffy, you know, but right here it works nicely. And it looks good no matter how you have it. If you have it all the way open, it looks dope. Close it all the way, it looks good. Partially open looks really cool too. So, yeah, man, that's a really dope design. I really love this. This helmet is crazy. And then on the back, we have his hair coming out. And I love the way they did the hair. Like he's got his dreadlocks. And what I like about them is that they're like inconsistent sizes, you know? It's not like all just one size. We have some like little ones hanging out from right here, some bigger ones, some, you know, medium-sized ones. And that's super cool. It's like a very natural look. Definitely gives it like a sense of realism. So good stuff, man. Such a cool design. And such a cool way to handle like long hair like this. I think that is so dope. Man, I love that head sculpt. Probably my favorite thing about this figure. And then moving on to the body here, they did a great job with all the details on here, as they always do. You can see like around the neck collar, we have some more like really impressive silver and gold work. The shoulders have some really nice. Look at that. Look how clean the paint is, man. That's so crazy. We have these straps that look good. Again, really well painted. And then taking a look at the soft goods, they did such a great job on this stuff. And I really love like the gold on here. It definitely ties the whole figure together with the gold accents on the armor, the gold on the soft goods. It really brings it together and makes it look amazing. And the CJ Esm crew did a great job on the soft goods. Like they have bendy wires in here, which is very cool. Like the quality of the soft goods is very nice. Man, look at that. The gold stitching on the back. Like little stuff like this is so cool to me. Man, it looks so good. And then around the waist we have some belts and armor and things like that. I like the way they kind of I like the way they mix up different like textures and different like materials. Like right here we have like, the chainmail that's sculpted, but it looks really good along with the soft goods and everything. And then, we have this like area that looks metal. Again, some more really clean paint. We have the belt that kind of has a leathery look, which blends in really well with the sculpted areas and the soft goods. It's kind of somewhere in between. It's just sculpted, but it doesn't look jarring or anything next to the soft goods. So that's really, really cool. Look at the detail on the belt. Always well done with the detail and stuff. And then a little bit of gold. Look at this, man. Look how clean this paint is. That's insane. Their factory is so good when it comes to the paint work. It's got to be one of the best out there. Like, oh my god, look at these little gold areas that have to be painted. This all has to be perfect, or else you would really see like the imperfections. They would stand out if this wasn't perfect. Damn, man, it's such amazing work. And then down here we have some more really great paintwork and some more gold on the silver. The gold on the silver is one of the most impressive things to me because it has to be perfect. Look at that shit. Jeez, man. So yeah, this is an incredible looking figure. Such a nice design, and just, as always, the paintwork and the sculpting and all that is just done at like an extremely high level. They're definitely like nobody does it like them, man. They do such a great job with the paint and stuff. So yeah. So yeah, this figure looks freaking awesome. I love everything about the design, and again, I'm just blown away by the sculpt and the paint. And then for accessories, he does have a couple of different head options. So like I said before, this is like he does have like an interchangeable faceplate. So what you do is you lift up this, and then you remove this forehead piece, and then that way you're able to get to Otho's face that comes out of the helmet like that. And then he does have this other helmet that you could put the faceplate into. So, and this comes with its own forehead piece. But yeah, you just stick the faceplate into there, bam. Stick the forehead piece into there, and then there we go. This one doesn't. Oh, and this does have like a mask that flips up and down, but it doesn't work as nicely as the lion head because when you bring this up and down, it doesn't, like, this kind of comes out of place a little bit, the forehead piece. But anyways, this does look really good. You're able to see his eyes in there, which is nice. This helmet is nice and everything, but it's nowhere near as cool as this helmet. So probably won't be rocking this one too much. Ooh, but we do have some gold work on the side there. And yeah, this looks awesome. This is a great looking helmet. And it's cool to have this because it kind of turns this figure into an army builder of sorts. Like if you want to get a couple of these, throw these helmets on them and have them as like guards for Otho or something, that'd be cool. And I like that it has kind of the same concept of, the flip up mask. It would have been cool if you came with some more faceplates. Like they could have given them like two different like faces, like two different characters, and you would have had two characters in one. But yeah, this is cool. And then he does come with a fully unmasked head sculpt, and this looks really nice, man. Check that out. And the hairpiece is shared between the unmasked head and the helmet here. So you just unplug it like that, and then you can, plug it into the other head, and it works just like that. Easy money. And the dreads are kind of big, so they can get in the way of the articulation, but thankfully you can just kind of swing them around or do whatever. But these look really good. Look at this, man. Look at the detail on them. I like how they're gray. Kind of looks like an older character, which is awesome. And yeah, they just did a great job with everything here. This looks really cool, man. I love the design of this guy. Look at that. Awesome stuff. Really great work with the skin and the eyes and stuff. And the beard. Yeah, this is a great looking unmasked head sculpt. And then he does come with 3 different sets of hands. First off, we have a set of like open, dramatic hands, you know. And then he has a set of gripping hands with vertical hinges. And then a set of hands with your standard in and out type of hinges. And then as far as weapons go, Otho does come with a couple of different swords. Starting off with this one here. This thing is super cool. Check this out, man. On the handle here, it's got a lion head that obviously matches, you know, his helmet and his shield. But it's super small and really well sculpted. It's crazy how they were able to get so much detail into something so small. Hopefully you're able to see it. Look at that. Crazy stuff. I love the gold color. And we have some nice colors on the handle of the sword and then on the sheath. Go ahead and take that off, and then we could take a look at the blade. The blade looks nice. Yeah, this is a really cool sword. And, you know, like with a lot of Mythic Legions figures, they have like belts that have loops on them so that you could stick the sword sheaths into them, or, you know, whatever. You have different options and stuff. So that goes in there nicely. And if you want to adjust it, you can. The belt moves. And then he does come with another sword. And this one looks really good too, but it's simple compared to the other one. It still looks nice. You can see that we have a little bit of blue on the handle and the rest is silver. And, you know, it does have the sword sheath, obviously, but the blade itself looks good. This sword sheath has a little hook on it, so you could hook it onto those loops, but the other one does not. But yeah, both of these swords are really nice. But I think my favorite weapon might be this right here. Bam, check out this axe. And the reason why I love this so much is because look at all the different colors and stuff that are in there and how well they're painted. And I love the shine to the blade itself. Man, look at that. That's beautiful stuff. Look at all this great looking paintwork. I am afraid that I'll scrape the paint on these blue parts when I'm trying to get them to hold it. Maybe we might already be seeing some of that. I don't know. But I love this, man. The blade looks freaking crazy. And again, it matches the whole design of the character itself. And it's just a cool looking weapon. Damn. Yeah, this axe is nice. And then he does come with this really nice looking shield. Check this out. Again, we have that lion head that looks amazing. And some really clean paintwork again. Just everywhere. Such clean and impressive paintwork. I love the gold and the silver on here. It looks really nice. I like the shape of this shield too. And then it does have like the same handle style as Urzok, but in this case, it's not as annoying because, you know, the shield is round, so you could just adjust it how you need to, but it does have these little tabs here, so hopefully, you know, hopefully there's a plan for that. We'll see. But the handle style is the same. This plugs on here. It's kind of a tight, it's pretty tight once you get it on there, but yeah, man, this looks really good. And another thing I love about this shield is that this comes off, and then you're able to put this right here. And then you could have a shield that will work if you're putting together like a guard for Otho, you know? If you're using that other helmet and faceplate setup, then you can give him one of these shields and, you know, it'll be like a whole different character. So that's awesome stuff to have those options. But for now, we're keeping this in here because this looks freaking amazing. Look at that. So yeah, he has a bunch of really great accessories. I love the weapons. I love the shield. I love the head sculpts, like the unmasked head sculpt and the lion helmet. Those two are freaking amazing. I love those. And I also like that he came with some extra hands. That's nice. So really good amount of accessories, really cool weapons, just really cool everything. So now for some size comparisons. Here we have Otho alongside the Mythic Legions, Sir Elijah, and the Mythic Legions, Valiant Knight. And the Valiant Knight was basically the first figure that was built on this knight body. And ever since then, they've been killing it. There's a whole bunch of great posing possibilities in there. They look amazing. And then once they started to add soft goods like they did here on these two, they definitely jumped up to another level. And in my opinion, like if you don't have any Mythic Legions and you're curious and you want to get into it, I strongly recommend picking up one of these 3 figures because these are like peak Mythic Legions in my opinion. Like these are some of the best ones out there, and they just kind of executed everything at a high level on these guys. Like, I think that anyone who picks these up would love them, even if they're not like Mythic Legions fans. And even if you're like hesitant about some of the articulation choices, you'll be pleasantly surprised by the amount of posability that you could get out of these guys. Otho will probably, I think that right now there's like a pre-order window open for him, and later on it'll be available to other retailers. The Valiant Knight may be very difficult, but Sir Elijah is super easy to get. He's on Big Bad Toy Store. I'll leave a link to that in the description and in the pinned comment. But yeah, man, any one of these things would be dope to pick up if you're like on the fence. Sir Elijah is one of my favorite figures of the year, and Otho is right up there with them. And then next up, we have Otho alongside the Legacies of Mythoss Urzok. I did a review for him. It's on my channel now. Be sure to check it out. On the opposite side, we have one of the Legion Builder 2 skeletons with an awesome custom outfit from CJ Ezum. And then next up, we have Otho alongside some old school Mythic Legions figures. On the left, we have Purplor, and on the right, we have Warrior. Warrior was my first Mythic Legions figure, and I love it. It's always going to hold a special place in my heart. But yeah, man, I would love to see them update these too, especially if they could apply the type of upgrades that they did to the Urzok and Otho. I think they could do some great stuff with either one of these characters. And then here we have Otho alongside some other random 6-inch figures. On the left, we have the Mafex Captain America with the custom head sculpt. And then on the opposite side, we have the Marvel Legends War Journal 2-pack Punisher. And then next up, here we have him alongside one of the NECA Dungeons and Dragons figures. I don't even know what this character's name is. It's like Zarok or something crazy. And then on the opposite side, we have the Mythic Legions Swig. And then here's Otho alongside the Mythic Legions Balam. And man, I would love to see them update him with this new knight body, you know, with the increased articulation. But I would love to get this in purple. That would be super dope. And then on the opposite side, we have the Heroic Signatures Conan. And then, of course, we have to have him alongside the Marvel Legends Bucky Cap and Marvel Legends Renew Your Vows Spider-Man. And then, you know, we have to get Otho alongside the most important figures in my collection. On the left, we have Odious, my original character. He is available now. There's some new versions on the way, so be on the lookout for that. On the opposite side, we have the NECA Mirage Comics Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Kirby, aka the King Jack Kirby. And ever since the release of the Valiant Knight, I would say that the Mythic Legions Knights definitely have like the most articulation out of all the Mythic Legions figures. I think they've done a great job at maximizing the articulation that's here. And as I said in my Urzok review, it's not like they've added a bunch of points of articulation everywhere. They just have found a way to get the most out of what they do. For example, like with the single jointed elbows, it's still single joint, but it gets some really good range. And yeah, man, I like it. I really like what they have going on here. And the Knights are just hella fun to play with, to be honest with you. I've had a blast with all the ones that I have. The Valiant Knight, Sir Elijah, and now Otho. They've all been really, really fun to mess around with. But let's go ahead and see what we have going on here, starting off at the head. So first off, he does have his hair, which can kind of, you know, twist around, which is really cool because it definitely gives him a more dynamic look at times. If you're posing him up in some type of like action pose or fighting pose or whatever, you could kind of adjust the hair to kind of just make things look more action-packed, you know? So that's good stuff. It does kind of pop off if you mess with it too much, but yeah, that's good stuff. I'm going to keep it up in the air so it stays out of the way for now. And then at the neck, he does have a ball hinge at the upper part of the neck. And then at the lower neck, he just has, it just pegs into the torso so you can kind of rotate on that joint. But using the ball hinge at the top, he's able to look up to about right there, which is pretty good. And then he could look down. Well, actually, he can only look down to about right there, and then his beard stops him. But because his head sits kind of high, you could kind of do some weird things with it if you want. So there you go. And, you know, his head does sit pretty high, so we get some nice tilt action. And thankfully, it's not too gappy because of the hair and the beard and stuff. But yeah, you know, being able to find the right balance with spacing and stuff like that really allows you to get like the most out of these joints. So that's good stuff. And then at the lower neck, as I said, it just pegs into the torso, so you are able to rotate it if you want to get him in some like extreme head tilting action. So there you go. Yeah, really good stuff at the head and the neck. And then for the torso, he does have a ball joint, and the ball joint gets pretty good range. It goes forward to about right there, which is okay for me. You know, it's a guy in knight's armor, so the fact that he bends forward that much definitely works for me. And then we get some nice like side to side action. And then it could go back to about right there. And the soft goods on the torso don't really get in the way too much. So pretty good movement there. And then you can also spin on that ball joint if you need to. So good stuff at the torso, even though it is one joint. I think they've pretty much mastered the ball joint at the waist situation. And then for the arms, I do have the shoulder pads on here because they don't really get in the way, but I just kind of wanted to show you with the shoulder pads on, like you could still get some really good movement. They kind of just hinge out of the way, but let's go ahead and pop this off real quick. The arm does go all the way around, comes up to the side to about right there, which is pretty good. And then you could get his arms in front of him only to about right there. But pretty good stuff here at the arms. And then he does have a single joint at the elbow, like I mentioned before, but it does get some really impressive range. Like to me, that's perfectly fine for a guy that has his entire arm covered in knight's armor. And then he does have a swivel at the elbow as well, a swivel at the forearm, and then at the wrist, he has a hinge and a swivel. So good stuff there. And I like that the shoulder pad things don't get in the way. Like some of the Mythic Legions figures have like big, huge shoulder armor pieces, you know, but his are kind of small and they look good, man. They look good and they don't get in the way. And then for the legs, he's able to kick forward to about right there, which is very good. Kick out to the side a really good amount. You could even bring them back if you need to. And then he does have upper thigh swivel. He has single joints at the knees, but they get pretty decent range. Like I could definitely live with that. We have a swivel right there at the knee as well. And then at the foot, he has a ball joint, so we have a swivel. And then it hinges forward to there, comes up to right there, and then rocking action at the ankles. But yeah, like I said, even though he's got single joints and armor and all that, he's still a pretty dynamic figure. Like you could definitely get him into some good poses. Like not necessarily a good pose, but it just kind of shows you like the range on certain areas. Kick his leg way up. Like that's pretty crazy. And like I said before, this having space in certain areas where you need it definitely allows you to push the range of these single simple joints, you know? Yeah, honestly, I love the articulation on the knights. They are so much fun to play with, and I wouldn't mind if they didn't change anything ever. With the knights specifically, there are some other characters that would definitely benefit from more articulation, but I think what they have going on with the knights is perfectly fine, man. I love the Valiant Knight. I love Sir Elijah, and now I love this figure, man. So much fun to play with, very posable, and they definitely do a lot with the little here. So I really do appreciate what they have going on here. So Otho is hands down one of my favorite Mythic Legions releases of this year. And that's saying a lot because the Four Horsemen have had an incredible year. They put out a bunch of bangers this year. And this is one of my favorites. This guy came out so freaking good. It looks incredible. It gives us everything that we love from Mythic Legions. Obviously, it's a really well sculpted figure. The paintwork on him is absolutely ridiculous. Like it's so crisp and clean. There's so much paint applications and all of them are perfectly applied. The figure is so well done. I love the design as well. It's such a cool looking character. I like how the soft goods match with the armor and stuff. I really love the gold highlights everywhere. How they are like, we have a little bit of gold highlights on the armor as well as on the soft goods, and it ties the look of the figure together really well. I really like the dreads coming out from the back of the helmet. That's a very cool and unique way to handle that hairstyle. I really love the face, like the face of that helmet, that lion face, that shit is ridiculous, man. That looks so freaking cool. As far as the other accessories, the swords are nice, the axe is cool. I love the shield, but I still don't like that handle. Hopefully there's some kind of plan for that in the future, but the rest of the shield is really nice. I like that it has the option to take that face off and then you could put like the blank piece there in the middle. That way, you know, you could buy a couple of these guys, change up the shield, and then you have like some soldiers for Otho. So that's fun, man. It's kind of like an army builder in that regard. So that's really dope. And as far as the articulation goes, I knew I was going to like the articulation on this figure because I was already a fan of the articulation on the Valiant Knight. So if you know what that figure is about, you know what you're getting out of this in regards to articulation. And yeah, it's very posable. Like I mentioned before, they do a lot with the little. Even though he has single jointed elbows and knees and very basic joints everywhere else, the figure's still super posable and a lot of fun to play with. So yeah, they killed it right there and still kept it simple and in line with their whole style. So I definitely respect that. And yeah, man, just overall, this is an amazing figure. I'm so happy that I got it. And you know, it's funny because The reason why I reviewed him after Urza is because I thought I was going to like Urza a little more. I thought like I wouldn't be as hyped up about this one because, you know, he's very similar to Sir Elijah. Like, they're basically like the same recipe. So with this guy, I was like, oh, I know what I'm getting into, whatever. But as soon as I took him out of the box, I was like, God damn, this thing is crazy. Like, it's got some magic to it or something, because although it does feel very similar to Sir Elijah, when I took it out of the packaging, it felt like a whole new experience, you know? So that's probably like the strength of the character design and all that. And, you know, there's a bunch of elements in there that I already like. I'm a huge fan of this recipe for Mythic Legions. The Valiant Knight, soft goods, new armor. It's going to be a banger every single time. So yeah, man, I really love this figure. And with that, I think that's it. Huge thank you to the Four Horsemen for sending this out to me. I really do appreciate it. As of this moment, this figure is up for pre-order on their website. By the time I get this video up, I don't know if that'll be the case because it takes me a while, but you know, I did hear that they're probably going to be offering these to retailers in the future. So if you get the chance, jump on this figure because it's incredible. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Also, be sure to hit the bell notification so you know every time that I go live. Thank you very much. Peace.